So try not to run. Don't run from church pain when you are, number one, under-listened to. Don't run from church pain when you're under-listened to. Look, we've all experienced what it's like to become offended because we feel like someone is saying we are less smart than we think we are, or we're less authoritative than we think we are. And I mean, I want to be right. You want to be helpful. Like, everybody gets to say stuff, and hopefully it is helpful, and hopefully it is right. But what about when we're getting offended, though, because our advice is not heeded? See, we got to, as right as you might be from time to time, can we just know? Okay, like the disciples were wrong all the time. Okay, so John and James, they're like, I'll tell you what, Jesus, why don't we do this? Why don't we just bring down fire on this Samaritan village, and that'll be a good idea, right? And he's like, you guys don't even know what you're talking. What? No, that's not what we're going to do. Why did you arrive at that conclusion? Peter gets right up in Jesus' face. Oh, no, Lord. I know that you're right about everything, but you're not right about this. You can't go to the cross. No. And what does Jesus say? Peter, you remind me more of Satan than of my friend right now. Get out of my way. So can we just own, if they can be wrong, we can be wrong about the plan of God or what's supposed to be happening or what our wisdom would lead us to. And I know what this is like, yo. You know, people tell me stuff all the time that they think is right and they think is the right thing to do. People come to me and they're like, hey, Carter, we need to start talking about and teaching this really fringe, weird idea about hell, but I'm right, so you just go ahead and do that, Pastor. Or I want to start this ministry, and I just think that I'm the perfect person to run it. Now, they don't really understand how much behind the scenes has to go into that. They're probably overestimating just how qualified they are, but they're like, I'm right. Or, just so you know, people come to me all the time like, you need to be more political, or you need to be less political. And it's both. I've had people tell me, you need to preach shorter, that's what we need. You need to preach longer, Carter, what are you doing? Trying to rob us of God's food? So I know what it's like to feel this, lots of voices coming at you, and some of them are a little bit offended that there's not instant agreement. We got to be careful. We got to be careful, whether it's leaders at work, whether it's our family, whether it's at church. We got to be careful when we start to think or say, I have the mind of God on this. I have the mind of God. I wish that they would get it. They don't get it. I get it. I agree with God. Everyone else should agree with me. When I was a really young Christian, I was at this church, and I picked up this theology book. And I was like, oh, this is what my church needs. I'm reading through this. It had a very kind of special way about looking at the gift of speaking in tongues, spiritual language. And I was like, my pastor, if he would just get this, turn this whole church around. Like, it'd just be a whole different thing. And so I'm like, yeah, buy him the book and hand it to him. And he was nice, but he wasn't excited about it. Okay, and the truth is, as I look back on that now, like I've had a whole lot more school and a whole lot more time as a pastor, I would just tell you what I was doing in that moment was a little bit like a guy that just figured out how to use the screw gun, going up to a master builder and say, this is how you should run your construction company. Like, dude, I had no idea. I didn't know the world I was talking about. I didn't know all the questions, much less all the answers. So for me to think, to presume, now I understand, like, dude, he was being nice. Because you don't even get what he knew right in that particular moment. C.S. Lewis says this. He says, a proud man is always looking down on things and people. And of course, as long as you're looking down, you cannot see something that is above you. And here's why it's a big deal, guys. It's not just that it's bad to get offended. It's that it's a trap. It's a trap, dude. Right? It's trying to sabotage your life because the devil wants you walking around like, but he also wants you spreading it. He wants all of us to get so offended we tell other people and they get offended on our behalf, and now entire families fall apart, businesses fall apart, and churches fall apart because we walked into the trap of offense. And this is what Isaiah says, and we just need this reminder in this little moment when we feel under-listened to. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. let's have a moment together, and let's just all say in our hearts, God does not necessarily agree with me about everything. God does not necessarily agree with me about everything. He's not waiting for other people to agree with me about everything. What he's likely waiting on is for me to agree with him about the importance of humility. That's probably more what he's after. So what do? Well, we just pause from time to time. We just take stock. We plan on the idea that we will probably sometimes overestimate our opinions and our strengths. And this is why Paul was so adamant in Romans chapter 12. He says, by the grace given to me, I say to every one of you, not some of you, every one of you, everybody needs to know, do not think more highly of yourself than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has given you. He's saying, guys, you have to take a sane view of yourself. We naturally puff up, and we have to puff us down or depuff, whatever that is. So when you're about to post something online, maybe we just consider for a second, I'm gonna slow down. Maybe instead of and give whatever I'm gonna give to that, I'm just gonna say, maybe there's more to this situation than what they wrote about. It's not even there's more in there, there's just more to it. And I should just slow down and be a little bit nice. Maybe I should try not to run when somebody doesn't immediately take my counsel. I should try not to run and try to just be still and take it like that little tree, just take the rope, because God says my gift will make room for me. So maybe I'll just pray, God, whoever needs to hear my voice, I pray that you would just cause them to hear it if it needs to be heard at all. Because here's two questions that we can ask that I found really helpful. One is, do I need to have an opinion about this at all? Sometimes I have an opinion, and do I need an opinion about this? Does Naaman need an opinion about the dirtiness of the Jordan? Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter at all. Do I need to have an opinion about this? And what might they see that I don't yet understand? Because the amount of stuff, even for all you know, in the places you are an expert, for all you know, there's so much more that you don't know than you do know. So we just have to count on the fact that there's probably other things here that I could learn that God would want me to know.